I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Smack 'em a cub, it's time for the only news that matters. An REO Speedwagon, it was killed. And Kevin Cronin has details of the events that led to REO Speedwagon's demise. He said, shit happens in bands, especially bands that have been together as long as we have. And there has been a little trouble brewing internally. Cronin went on to details that bassist Bruce Hall's decision to step away from the group while recovering from back surgery, though he initially expected to only be sidelined for only a few months. Hall eventually decided to stay off the road for all of 2024. During his conversation with Trunk, Cronin admitted that he saw Hall's decision coming. He said, I saw the x-rays and I'm like, dude, I don't see how you're going to be ready by March 1st or June 1st. I said, if I were you, man, I would just sit out the year. And he didn't take very kindly to that. Cronin and Hall remained in contact even as REO Speedwagon toured in 2024 with a replacement bassist. At one point, the longtime bandmate discussed Hall's return to the group, but Cronin deemed his demands were too much to handle. He said, I found the two main demands. One of them would have been irresponsible for me to go along with, and the other one was just impossible for me to go along with. Making matters worse, rumors regarding the turmoil within REO Speedwagon began spreading online. Cronin said the specifics and the details of what's going on in rock bands, it's meant to stay within the band. What I've heard had been circulating a lot online and that I somehow prevented Bruce from touring. Like I prevented him from coming out on the road with us last year. And that's just inaccurate. It's just not the truth. With the sidelines unable to reach an agreement, REO Speedwagon announced it would retire from touring. The band's final show took place on December 21st. And Cronin further laminated that Hall's return could have been a smooth transition if people around Bruce had leaked around about the discourse. It just got ugly, the singer noted. And while also dismissing a theory that he wanted REO Speedwagon to end so he can pursue a solo career, he said, that's the exact opposite of what happened. I never quit REO Speedwagon. I would never quit REO Speedwagon. I spent my adult life working to enhance REO Speedwagon and always lift the bar on what REO Speedwagon was to make and make it a better band. Now, what Kevin is saying, it's contradictory to what Hall just said. Hall said, no one forced Cronin to rebrand. He decided he wanted to tour with a sub-bass player instead of me. Hall wrote this on social media in January, stating that the frontman quit. He and he alone did this. I wanted nothing more than to continue to tour after my successful back surgery. I've been cleared to play since January. Cronin is poised to hit the road this summer alongside Styx and Don Felder for the Brotherhood of Rock tour, though he's been billing it as the Kevin Cronin Band. He promised the show will deliver as an REO Speedwagon experience. Despite the acrimonious ending, the singer still holds out hope that he and Hall could one day share the stage again for an official REO Speedwagon farewell. If Bruce I wish Bruce nothing but the best, Cronin said. We were friends for a long time, but what are you going to do? This is where we're at. So there you go. Yeah, of course, Kevin Cronin did not dissolve REO Speedwagon to go solo. How is that going to be lucrative? You know? The REO Speedwagon, you know, the name is what brings the money, not if Kevin Cronin was to release a solo album today. It'll be so low it won't even hit the charts. I mean, you know. And of course he's got to go out on a package tour with Styx and Don Felder, because everybody that pays tickets to see those bands will know who Kevin Cronin is. So, and it's going to be billed like Kevin Cronin's playing REO Speedwagon song. I think what he's doing is he's playing High Infidelity, the whole album. That's I believe what he's doing. So yeah, man, I mean, it's not going to bring in any extra people if it was called REO Speedwagon. Now, Kevin Cronin going out on his own to play all of High Infidelity, I don't think it'll do that well. I think it's got to be, you know, with Styx, a big band, you know, and then you go out there and you play your biggest hit. That album, well, how much? I think it sold over 10 million, right? High Infidelity? Which right there, that was the end for me. And even High Infidelity was a little fruity in spots, but I loved everything before. I love some of High Infidelity. Like Follow My Heart is awesome, Out of Season. Great deep tracks, Wish You Were Here. You know? And I love Take It On the Run, and I know there's a couple. I don't like Tough Guys. That song irritates me. And Shake It Loose sucked too. But I think I like the rest, man, as far as I can remember. And that was the only time I ever saw REO Speedwagon, was on the High Infidelity tour. They came on my birthday on the High Infidelity tour, but I couldn't go for I can't remember what reason. I think I was broke. But then that was when High Infidelity, you know, it wasn't big yet. And then it became so huge, REO Speedwagon came back and headlined the Miami Baseball Stadium. And I believe Roston Collins was on that bill. I can't remember who else, but they couldn't have been bigger at that point. And that was the one and only time I ever saw REO Speedwagon. Because then after that, it just got bad. Good Trouble, oh boy. And then and Wheels Are Turning, no thank you. You know? So I'll stick with the early REO. But, you know, I gotta say, I didn't like the Matt Murphy albums. The three he did in the 70s. But I love the Mike Murphy's first album. And I love all the Kevin's albums in the 70s. I was a big fan. I mean, I'm still a big fan of that early stuff. But man, when I was a kid, I loved that REO Speedwagon in the late 70s. I would crank that live album over and over again. Like You Do, Golden Country. You know, my God, it's just I highly recommend anybody out there, if you don't like REO Speedwagon, at least go on YouTube and give it a chance. It's the live album called You Get What You Play For. Listen to that live album, and then you tell me if you like it or not. I love it. I absolutely love it. My favorite is 9 Lives. And I can go on and on. But yeah, this turmoil with Bruce Hall, I mean, you know, Kevin Cronin at least got somewhat of a name. What's Bruce Hall going to do? You know? The Bruce Hall Band? I don't know if that'll even fill clubs. You know, it's one of those situations where, you know, they're the long, I mean, Bruce Hall's been in the band since 1978, I believe. Kevin Cronin joined the band after the first album. Neil Dowdy just retired 2-3 years ago, and that was the only member, the only original member of REO that was on the first album. So, you know, I mean, I haven't bothered to go see REO, but, and my brother, recently saw them, you know, one of their last shows when they're opening for a band called Train, and he asked me if I wanted to go, and I was like, nah, I'm good. You know, it's just like, without Gary Richrath, I really don't care. That to me is the main component of REO Speedwagon, was the late great Gary Richrath, man. What a guitar player. Anyway, what do you all think, man? Leave it in the comments below. Hey, you know, I will say it will be lame to see Kevin Cronin up there playing and they don't play back on the road again. A staple that Bruce Hall sings. Anyway, thank you all for watching The Only News That Matters. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and ring that little notification bell. I totally would appreciate that. And like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty, listen to Black Sabbath, and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.